There are some places that investigators return to because there's a mystery about them. That same uncertainty feels welcoming, and its morbid past somewhat intoxicating. I have once again returned to Malvern Manor to try to make contact with those who call it home.
So my name is Josh Hurd. I am the curator at what we call Malvern Manor here in Malvern, Iowa. I've been doing this for probably the better part of a decade now.
We have visited numerous times and have more in-depth information on our other videos. With that in mind, I asked Josh for a quick rundown for those not familiar.
Right out of the gate, the building that we call Malvern Manor now was actually called the Cottage Hotel. Now, we also know that it was built in 1869, and it was the fourth structure that was built in the town. So literally, the entire town is like popping up around this place, which is kind of cool. But primarily, like I said, it was a hotel, mainly servicing the railroad that was just right out the front door. So people coming and going all the time. Now, we also know that this building itself runs as a hotel all the way up until the 1950s. So it had a pretty good run there. Now, at that time, it kind of takes an odd turn and becomes what we would consider to be more of like a nursing home type setting. The nursing home only lasts a couple of decades. In the 1970s, the state of Iowa came in and shut them down because the hallways aren't wide enough to support transporting patients properly. And so this is kind of where history becomes the most fascinating for geeks and nerds like myself, and that is where it becomes the group home, which is servicing any form of what they considered to be a mental disorder back then, which is, vastly different than our consideration today. So it's things that we see all the time. It's people with Down syndrome. It's people with drug and alcohol abuse. It's a very common type ailments. And then, of course, more exotic cases, people on the opposite side of the coin, if you will, people with DID, for an example, or what they used to call multiple personalities, schizophrenics. Even murderers were housed here. So this is a very eclectic group of people coexisting under the same roof. And it ran like that all the way up until 2005 when they finally shut the doors for the last time.
There are several spirits haunting the manor, and you can learn about them in this video on our channel. Here are a couple noteworthy residents from the past.
One of the biggest, I guess, or most well-known would be Gracie. Now, Gracie is at the end of this hallway or whatever, but Gracie is one of those exotic type of patients. So Gracie was DID, but she also had schizophrenia on top of all of that, a very chaotic mind state. They would hear male voices coming from her room, for an example. Now, of course, having a guy in a girl's room is a big-time no-no, so the staff would have to go and check that out, but they would open the door and find it's just Gracie. Like, she was able to shift and manipulate her voice to sound male, which, medically speaking, is fascinating. Now, one evening that we know of in particular, 3 nurses sat with Gracie for just an hour, and during this hour, they documented 13 separate, distinguishable personalities, which is, almost medically unheard of. Like, the wheelhouses would be about 2 to 5. So for her to have 13, she's most certainly tipping the scales. I guess another one of the more interesting things here would be what we just call the shadow man phenomenon. So all the way down in this hallway that we call the nursing home wing, there's a very tall black humanoid figure that will come out of room 2. He'll turn and then run at people, traveling the distance of roughly 40 feet in less than a second. So this is also what sends the majority of people out the front door. What's interesting to me, I guess, is the simple fact that nobody seems to be getting hit or scratched or anything negative seems to be really associated with this. It almost seems as if the second we're reacting, it's done and over with. So maybe even suggesting something residual. The issue that I have with that is that we can't find the antecedent of anything residual. So time of day, weather patterns, moon phases, all of that stuff does not seem to correlate with this happening. It's just happening seemingly whenever it wants to. Now, interestingly enough, and kind of in that same vein, the day after Paranormal Lockdown aired, there was a nurse that got a hold of me that used to work here, obviously. But she said the gentleman that occupied room 2 was 6'7", nonverbal, mentally deranged, had even killed a few people in the past. But his little claim to fame was that whenever they were doing like bed checks or whatever you want to call that, he would come out of the room and he would chase the nursing staff, which fascinated me because, again, like we're seeing very similar behaviors here. So maybe, again, suggesting something residual, we just can't be sure of that. So there is one thing that is here, one entity that we can't quite put our finger on. For whatever reason, there is one negative, nasty spirit, for lack of a better term, who is referring to himself as number one, simply number one. It's interesting to me because you'll be in somebody's room having a back and forth conversation, like Gracie's room, for an example, and then all of a sudden, the mood starts to shift. You hear this spirit start saying things like, I have to go, he's coming, he's here, goodbye, flatline. Everything stops. But then here comes this voice, this nasty, deep, gravelly voice. And it's going to say some of the most horrific things that you've ever heard in your life. In fact, like one time I was so fed up with all of the crap that I just said, well, hey, number one, like what if we decided to just get rid of you? And the only response that I got from that was, bring God, in this nasty, guttural tone. And it's, I mean, if I'm being honest, it scared the absolute shit out of me. So we don't know exactly what number one is or who number one is. What I do know is that the resident spirits here seem to be afraid of him, legitimately afraid of him, to the point where he shows up, they're gone. They're all gone, like in hiding, and it's just the two of you. It will just be him and you.
Knowing the history about the residents who remain, Josh was insistent on giving me some new information that might help in tonight's investigation.
Okay, so since the last time that you have been here, there are things that are happening that it's really been throwing me for a loop because it hasn't happened before. So it's super easy, it's simple, but it's completely different than the norm here at Malvern Manor, right? So normally, like, well, we put out equipment and they interact with the equipment.
Right.
They're not really messing with the equipment. Now, you're just audibly hearing them. Like they're speaking more. They're knocking more. They're crying more. They're screaming more. Like all of this stuff is happening and it's very audible. And it's not only to just one or two people. It's like we've had 40 people experience the exact same thing at the same time.
So it's gone from like a not playing with toys no more. We're
right.
Adults.
It's almost like, okay, we're done with that now. Like, okay, we don't need to do this now because now we figured this out. Now we know we can just speak to you.
Do you suppose it has to do with the fact that there's been so many people here and they're all asking for the same thing to happen?
You know, that's fair because a lot of people will ask the same battery of questions, right? Oh, did you live here? Did you die here? Did this happen? Can you do that? Blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing over and over and over again,
right.
Just new faces, right? It's very possible.
So we're amping it up.
I think so. It's super weird, but I'm telling you, man, it hits different because now it's almost like it's more personal. Like you're hearing their voice. You're hearing exactly what they want to say and how they want to say it. There's inflection and all of this stuff. Like it's really cool. It's kind of scary, but it's really neat at the same time.
Well, hopefully we catch some of that and we actually hear some of that tonight. We got storms rolling in.
Yeah.
Atmosphere is going to be charged. I think that's going to play to our benefit. Hopefully to their benefit if you can hear me.
Oh boy.
Tonight I'm in Malvern, Iowa, investigating Malvern Manor. John is not with me tonight, but just because he's not with me doesn't mean that I'm going to be investigating this place alone. Isn't that right, Josh?
That's right.
We're going to be ghost busting.
Bitches. You know what's really fucked? Walking through a hallway with only the infrared screen.
Just guiding you.
Yeah.
Then looking in the door next to you as you pass it. It's like, uh-oh. Oh, yeah.
Jesus, dude. Like, people don't understand how fucking dark Malvern Manor really gets.
Dude, it is super dark in here right now.
Like, it's fucked, right?
I can't even see, like...
I
can only see you.
Yeah, because I'm illuminated by the screen in front of my face. That's it.
That is correct. Okay. Where do you... I know you got some cat balls with you. Where do you feel like placing those?
I have a ton of cat balls. I'm probably just going to set them down here.
Spread them out.
What is this? What is this?
Looks like a cat ball. No.
I believe it was a ping pong ball.
Ping pong ball.
Okay, let me grab some balls. Oh my God. At least we'll have like a little bit of light.
You want to spread them throughout the hall?
Oh.
Like all the way down?
Oh, I'm gonna put a couple down. I'll put a couple down there for sure.
Okay.
I just don't want to trip over like
your dick.
Yes. I don't want to trip over my ginormous wang.
It's kind of poking out of the bottom of your jeans there.
Listen.
Just dragging the tip. That's why they call him dragging. See?
Your friend.
We would have been fired on Ghost Hunters.
Your friend makes a very impressive dragon. You should be proud. All right, now listen. It's going to get kind of weird. 2 dragons.
Is it weird that one of my balls hangs lower than the other 2?
Not at all.
No?
No.
All right.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I'm going to place something out here too.
Okay.
It's like, gonna get down. We're going to place this. All right, we'll leave it like that.
Okay.
Is there
I'm gonna
something
go
over here? Like,
electrical?
look, if I put my arm up, it stops it.
Do it again.
Take it away.
Dude, that's weird though, because there's nothing.
It's supposed to be as you approach it or touch it.
Right. There's nothing electrical back here though. I'm gonna go turn mine on.
Yes.
Real quick.
Bring it over here.
Okay.
Look, it's not doing it now.
Jesus.
It's not doing it now.
Oh, it stopped?
Yeah.
You know.
I stepped away from it.
Oh, it's going?
Yeah.
Jesus. So I think. I think I'm just going to take this and put it. Gosh, I don't even know, man.
Center of the hall.
Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty good.
You want me to say that again? Center of the hall. Is that where?
What the frick, man?
That's where you put it. That's where you need to put it.
Center of the hall.
Center of the hall.
So where's the center of the hall? Like right here?
I would guess.
Or down more?
Right here in the middle.
Okay.
Right there.
I'll put it right here. Let me see if I can find the right switch to turn this thing on. My God. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We got this one going.
Dude, that one's humming like crazy.
I wonder if it's that spot or if there's something.
Dude, I really don't think there's anything like electrical that's going to do that. That's weird.
Did you hear that down
Yeah.
there? Sounded like a breathing.
Right behind you.
Yeah.
Hello? Like, did I just fucking hear that again?
Yeah, it's been going.
You have got to be kidding me.
Is there somebody down here? Dude, that thing is going off hardcore now.
Big time. Movement right here behind you as well. Like, what the hell?
I just heard that breath thing again down here.
So,
I have an idea of where it came from.
okay. What are your thoughts?
It is just like,
Like right out of the gate, dude.
this room right here, 6.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't step on any cat balls.
Oh, yeah.
There's a ball in the middle of the floor. It smells ionized in here.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Do you think it has anything to do with like the storms that are rolling in?
It could be.
I mean, anything like that?
We do have some wheelchairs in here, right?
Yeah,
And metal chairs.
there are 2.
That could possibly. Could.
Wow. Dude, weird.
Hello? I'm hearing it again out there, though. I wonder if that's frogs outside.
There's a frog right out here.
Yeah, I'm hearing that out there.
Footsteps.
Hello? You notice that thing's not going off anymore?
It's not.
While Josh was telling me a story about Rebecca, we heard the sounds of shuffling coming from one of the rooms.
I was standing over here. What the frick was that?
That was movement.
Hardcore.
I heard like
But also,
paint swishing or...
yeah, I would almost suggest, bro, that it was in a room with laminate flooring. Does that make sense?
That'd be the next room down on the right.
The next room down on the right or even further down, but yes.
That was close.
That was really cool. Wow.
I can't even see where this room's at. I'm like taking this...
What'd you hear? What was it?
Almost talking?
Really?
I don't know, like if it was you like breathing or
Well, maybe.
whatever, but like I heard it. I can't even see where this room's at. I'm like taking this...
What'd you hear?
That's the tile floor.
There's definitely tile floor. You've got to be fucking kidding me. You have not gone off. Dude. What the hell?
It's off.
And now it's off. Like, we're not doing anything any different.
I heard that.
Right down here.
Hello? Who's here? My name's David. Not here to scare you or anything. I don't mean to scare you. Just came to talk to you. Note that is not going off.
No.
It is not us setting it off.
It's not. It's not us.
Because we're standing near it somewhat now and it's not going off, so.
Yeah, I'd say we're closer to it now than we were 2 minutes ago when that was actually going off.
Yeah. It was going off while we were down there for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Dude, this looks like a shadow down there, but I know it better. I know better than that.
I really want to know, like, where that noise came from. Like, guys, we're hearing you. Could you make that noise again so we can know, like...
Okay, there was a car going by, but I thought I heard like a...
Something before
music
that?
box music. Like a couple chimes.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you could make that noise again so we know where you're at. Dude.
You just whistle out your nose?
Probably.
Okay, I heard the... All right. It's okay to come out and talk to us. We've been here, well, you know Josh. You might remember me. What we want to try to do is get validation that you're here. There are some people out there that don't know you exist or don't even think that you exist. You may have family members that might have forgot about you. But talking to us, this is one way to show those people that you are here, that you do exist. Let us hear your... That was my stomach.
Was that really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, oh, shit.
So let us hear your voice. So guys, I'm calling it a night. The drive up here has wiped me out. Didn't really experience much outside of the beginning of the night, but I will be here tomorrow as well. We have an event tomorrow that I'm doing called the Midwest Mystery Tour, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to investigate a little bit during the day, but then after the event's over, I'm going to investigate a little extra and just kind of see the varying levels depending on time of day or night, and you know, if the people attending the event add energy to the atmosphere. We'll see what happens. So, end of night one.